Welcome to the long-awaited Exorcist Legion VR video recap. This is largely an experiment. This is my first video recap, so I'm trying to figure out the software, I'm trying to figure out the audio, just to figure out what works best to make this a fun thing for my Twitch followers and others to watch. So without further ado, why don't we get into the what's going to be the first real tremendous scare of the game, the first chapter, where I was just discovering what this game was all about, and I was legitimately afraid to get into this title. The Exorcist is one of my favorite films, but also one of the scariest movies of all time that I've ever seen. So obviously doing this in VR was not without its, did not come without its apprehension. But I will say the game itself delivered, and the first chapter definitely set the stage for what was one of my most terrifying horror gaming experiences for sure. So let's get into it. Switch over to this format. All right, so here we are. This is the scene where we're in the church. I'm starting to get a little bit freaked out here. You notice the altar, and the idol of Pazuzu is sitting there on the altar. And I said, well, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? This is something I want to pick up, and I do pick it up, but I'm still not exactly sure what to do. And then this is when things kind of start going to crap, and the lights start flickering red, and I have no idea what is happening at this point, other than I'm pretty much starting to freak out now. And yeah, so I've got this idol in my hand, and I look up, oh my God, there's a thing up there, and I throw the idol at it. I don't know if that's even what I was supposed to do. The lights continue to flicker, and the sounds that are playing right now, and I can't hear them right now through my headset, and maybe that's for the better, because I would probably be feeling scared right now. So I grab the cross out, because what else are you going to do? And you can tell I'm twisted all over the place, and the camera can hardly track me. And then we get to this part where you're kind of looking into the shadows. Oh yeah, that door swings open, and the chair flies out. Oh great, that's the bad situation. All the chairs start flying at us. And then I kind of think I see something down there in the distance, in the dark. I think I see a set of eyes, and then I see the demon down there, and that's about when I thought about going to the bathroom in my pants. And then the things start flying at me, and that was just almost too much. I was not ready for that. So that was the first big scare, number one. All right, so chapter 2 was the Asylum episode, and this was, I think, my first encounter with another kind of living character in the game. I think I hadn't been doing VR all that long, and this was my first encounter with a human looking character, and just that to encounter another quote living creature with the headset on was chilling enough in and of itself. But I think you'll see why this was particularly chilling. So let's go over to the footage for this scene.
Booby traps.
So I start off at this point. I'm trying to feel
do not
a bit more
talk to the
confident.
patient under any
The
circumstances,
first chapter
but
had
you know
scared the
what?
hell out of me.
I am a.
So I'm just trying to
I'm a bold
play
detective.
it cool. You see
I
that?
do what I
I'm a
want.
bold detective. I'm feeling
I'm
anything
not
but
totally
bold
terrified
at this
right
point,
now.
to be honest.
I'm
So
ready.
I'm getting ready to kind of go down the
Be a
hall
bit of
here.
blood on the
And,
on the glass up there.
Yeah, there's some blood. And then there she is.
That is chilling.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
That scared the shit out of me.
it's hard to
the first time.
describe what this is like with the
And
headset
honestly,
on,
and you kind of hear
but
me
it
talking
really
in the
is
background,
like I'm
but
seeing
I'm
someone
going to
there that just
reiterate that
glanced over
it's
at me.
even watching it back gives me the chills a little bit, because it's
funny
hard to
thing
describe
was,
that moment
I was
where
not. I was
that
thinking
character
earlier.
turns her
one
head and
issue
she
I have
looks
with this
at
game
me,
that I think would make
and
it a
that
little
was
bit more comforting.
that
would
was
be,
a lot, and I played it pretty cool
if
in there, for the most part. But man,
there was some more
that was something
interaction
else.
with
Chapter 3 of the Exorcist VR, or Legion VR as it was called, takes place. You're called to a house where you have to investigate some weird things going on in the nursery of this house. So, of course, all right, creepy baby episode of the Exorcist VR, and it lived up to those expectations. So let's jump over to the video, and let's roll the tape. So I'm in the nursery now, and the lights are all off, and there might have been more lights earlier, but they've definitely gone off. And so
your enthusiasm.
Yeah, skin's crawling a little bit, but I've still got it together. And this moment right here, boom.
Oh man, did you see that?
That was just not great. All right, was not feeling too good about that head turning and looking at me. And then I turn around and check it out.
Give me
Look
a
at all
break.
those mannequins. How freaky is that? And I think that was my first in-game encounter of creepy mannequins, which has, for whatever reasons, become a theme. Can't seem to escape the creepy mannequins, no matter what we do. Chapter 4, The Exorcist VR, was a chapter called the Samaritan, or the Good Samaritan, where you are off to Haiti to investigate some strange supernatural activity. And there was one particular scene that's really, really got me. I think was one of the biggest, most chilling moments of the game. And so we can go ahead and jump in the vid. So you're in this CDC facility, we'll just call it, and you're trying to get the power going. And you had come through a room where there were a bunch of bodies and body bags laying out on the examination tables. And then you see one of them, the silhouette of one of the body bags, sit up, and it was just absolutely so chilling. And you got to remember too, I've got the headset on, so I mean, this is all I can see. This was my world for the hour that I did these chapters, and man, to see that thing sit up was absolutely chilling. So this next scene, I just made myself disappear, is a perfect example of sound design really being used to enhance the atmosphere and the mood and just
Holy margaritas.
And also, this is where this I think was the chapter where the holy margaritas and the holy minerals became a thing for the Scream stream. But the sound, once it starts rolling, just kind of progressively builds. The level kind of starts swaying a little bit. The view and just the sound is just this freaky low sound. Kind of takes me back to that sound from Raiders of the Lost Ark, when they first take the lid off the Ark at the end, and this sort of just low, drony sound had me completely freaked out, had me feeling completely disoriented. And let's just give it a listen for a minute. Turn it up a little bit. And just the bass kicks in. And it just builds, and I have no idea where I'm supposed to be going, where I'm supposed to be facing.
I don't know where to go or what to do.
I was so disoriented, and I was so freaked out. It was well done. I mean, from a sound design standpoint, it was just awesome. So there's one more scare from chapter 4, which might have been my favorite chapter in the game, which is it's gonna bear very little describing on my part. I'll do a little bit for the sake of doing the audio version of this, perhaps, but yeah, it just it was bad. And so let's switch over to that video. So we're in the morgue of this building. The disease victims, body bags everywhere. Let's just let it play out.
Oh,
look,
come on.
it just sits up. The body just sits up in the body bag, and then it starts floating and flopping around in the air, and it comes at you. And all of a sudden, they're all floating, and just that sound, and just the fact that it's so dark, and these things are floating around you. You got no idea what's going on around you, and you're reaching in your toolkit. And of course, the people following me, I love them to death, and they're freaked out right alongside me. But my buddy Monkey always thinks I'm pooping. But he should know that I always go before I put on the headset. All right, so that caps off chapter 4, and then that takes us to the last chapter. So what I really liked a lot about the Exorcist Legion VR was that the different episodes or chapters, if you will, were all pretty distinct from one another. And the final chapter has you actually heading out to the Middle East to track down the source of evil itself, the demon who shall go unnamed, because as I'm down here recording this recap late at night, I'm actually starting to get a little bit creeped out. So I want to finish this soon so I can get back and be around people. All right, so let's jump into this video. So we're in the cave now.
You guys still out there? I feel very alone
pulling
right now.
yourself along this little canal, and you come into the chamber, and then you see
There's
this
the Pazuzu
statue of the
statue, people.
demon up there. The same as the idol you had in the beginning of the movie, the same as you see in the Exorcist film. And that just seeing it looming there in the shadows had a tremendous impact on me. And again, I'm playing it cool. I'm being pretty quiet about the whole ordeal.
Monkey, are you out there?
But I also felt very alone too, because I feel like everyone watching it was a little freaked out as well. So everyone was kind of staying a little bit quiet. And so I'm tugging myself out there closer to this little island where the statue is. And I start hearing sounds in the darkness. And at first I think it's my imagination. But then I become fairly convinced that I know, there is something moving out there and I'm not alone. And man, that was a lot. That was a lot. All right. So here is my top number one scare from the Exorcist Legion VR that does come in the last chapter. It's actually from a scene that's before the scene that we just saw. This was my first real genuine scream, the first of quite a few with the VR headset on, but I even had a hard time watching this scene back. My wife won't even watch it. This was something to behold. So let's jump into it.
Holy minerals.
In this chapter,
give me a break.
It kind of takes you
Holy
through some
minerals,
sequences
doing
where
it
you're seeing
as
some things from
always.
the past and from different parts of your explorations and adventures.
Okay.
And so we're kind of back. We're back in the church. We're back in the rectory. And there's books flying around.
Wow.
There's things
That
floating.
was good.
You're back in the
That was
priest's
great.
office.
That was not awesome.
And I think I said that was awesome. That was great, but not awesome or
come
something,
on.
because it was very powerful, but very freaky at the same time. And so my heart is racing in my chest. Still trying to play it cool. I've got Bibles hitting me in the head. And then things calm down a little bit. And so I figure, okay, I'm going to look around,
If you're in here.
see if I can't figure out how to get out of this room. Of course, I arm my mighty cross, which is the most powerful weapon you have at your disposal, as it should be. And I'm just looking around. I tried the door before, and it wasn't getting me out. So I figure I'm gonna move a little deeper into the room, maybe check a few things out. Of course, my followers are giving their advice as well, because we see what looks like it might be light in there, which is kind of what you use to gather your cross to get yourself out of tricky situations. That didn't seem to do the trick, though, so I pop my cross back in there. And then what do I do next? Well, I decide
I'm gonna try the door again.
I'm going to try the door again. So across the room I go. And this is when...
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
There it is.
Ah! Fuck me.
I was not expecting
that
that at
cool.
all. I was not expecting that at all. And that mother effer comes rushing at me. And my heart about leapt out of my mouth. Yeah, so all in all, the Exorcist Legion VR was a great horror gaming experience. The game was not without its bugs. It had a few bugs, which I'm not going to get into here, because this is really just a recap of the things that really worked well for this game. It was scary as hell. So I highly recommend it. If you ever get a VR headset, give it a shot. But that is the recap. So we're going to try to do some more of these. So tune in next time for likely what will be the Resident Evil Biohazard recap.